They were like, it's good to love, beta. Hate, don't. Don't waste your time on hate.
Did you have nightmares about your identity?
There is no correction, right? What will you correct? This is who I am. I was 20 and the love of my life was gone from the face of the planet. Mom is like quintessential. I've always been my mama's child.
What kind of Muslim are you? Welcome to the Suvir Saran Show. Today's guest is a walking, talking bundle of fun and joy and incredible beauty. My friend Faraz Araf Ansari. Welcome, Faraz.
Thank you so much, Suvi. Thank you for having me.
Faraz, how do you manage to be so gorgeous?
I just roll out of bed.
Aise, Hoor ki pari ki tarah.
You know, when you are denied the place to be yourself for a very long time, every time you get a chance, you show up. And I think that is something that is happening to me or has happened to me. Like every opportunity you get, you just show up. And for yourself, not for anyone else. That is important.
And you look fabulous every minute of the day.
Well, there are times when I don't, but
you don't
that's
come
not
out
for the public eye.
And when does that happen? 5 in the morning?
Sometime around that.
So you lost both your parents very soon after the other. And you've been smiling and you've never turned back. But I know you miss them. I know you miss them a lot. There are times in your Instagram feed when I see your mom or I see your dad, and my heart goes out to you because I have lost my dad but not my mom yet. And I say, how is this brave person so brave? Where do you get that strength from?
From them, Suvir, because I think they both have instilled so much love, so much of vulnerability, which they kept reminding me through my growing up years. They said vulnerability is your strength, beta. And always remember that. So I think the more vulnerable I feel, the more stronger I feel. Such a parody, right? Such a, so odd to say that. But I think I get it from them and they're still there, right? I mean, you know how it is.
They're in your blood.
They're in your blood. They flow through you. They live through you. So there's no without them really. Of course, there are times when you really want that hug and you really want to run into their arms or you want to lie on your mother's lap and just, have a go at it. But one learns to live with it. Also, grief is not linear at all. You know it. It shows up on days. On days it, just breaks you down completely. So I have my days. It's just that I'm such a private person, Suvir, which I know is very hard for a lot of people to believe.
I believe it.
But I'm
the same way.
Yeah, it's a different thing that people think I'm very public in that sense, but I'm not. I'm a very private person. Who I am privately is very different than who I am in front of the public or, everyone else.
My lover of 20 years called me the most private, most loner of a human being. And people say, "Nahi, ye to tamasha karta hai." And he said, that's all entertainment, that's all a facade.
Yeah.
Deep down, he's a loner. He doesn't need anybody else. He goes in. And that's how I am. Are you the same way?
Absolutely.
It's all a tamasha for the world.
I think it's not even for the world, it's for
Entertainment.
Me. I love it. I love to keep myself entertained. Like, if you put me in a room all on my own, I will be very happy.
I'm reading a book, writing.
I do not need the world. I do not need anything.
I don't need even television.
Yeah.
I'm just me, my writing,
Seriously,
my reading.
That's it.
Which parent do you remember with which mood?
Oh, God. I think I've always been my mama's child. Dad was, you know how it is, right? With Indian families, the son is always close to the mother. So for me, I think it was always my mama, everything. But my dad, I shared a very different relationship because he nurtured me in ways that I never saw other fathers nurture their children, right? He used to have conversations with me, sit me down and open his heart and share his own life with me. Both my parents, to be honest, like they told me about their love affairs when they were young. They told me about there was nothing that was like not ever discussed with me, once I had.
And you were the only child.
I'm the only child, yeah. And I think that sort of changes you, right? When you see so much of love being shared between two individuals in the safe space that you call home, it transforms you and or at so many levels. So I think that happened to me at a very early age. I was brought up with love. To answer your question, I think mum is like quintessential. I can't not stop thinking about her. Even these colors that I'm wearing today, these are my mother's favorite colors.
Yeah.
Right, and I'm so
Gorgeous colors.
it was
yeah.
funny because when I reached out to this designer, Hina
Hina
Kochhar,
Kochhar, my favorite. yeah.
also my favorite. When I reached out to Hina and the outfits that she sent me, it was funny to find these two colors there, and I was like, that's my mother's favorite color, so I'll wear that today. So she lives through, these experiences. With my dad, I think just 2 days back, I was having this situation. I was like, I really want to go to Rome, right? I love making these sporadic plans, wake up and be like, I feel like doing something, should I do it? I missed my dad because he was that one person who I always went up to and I was like, should I do it? And he used to turn and ask me, should you do it? I miss that so much, that one person who was the decision maker for me in my life. I kind of miss that very much.
You grew up in South Bombay with these parents who were Muslim, upper middle class parents. How difficult was it, or how easy was it to be this human being that identified neither as he nor she as a person?
Of course, I come from a Muslim family and I've never really shied away from the fact that,
Faraz Araf Ansari.
yeah, so
What a beautiful name. I
thank-
want that name.
you may have.
But not the baggage that comes with it. Sometimes having that name is a
my
difficult
God.
journey.
Oh my God. We'll talk about that as well. But I remember when I was very young, there was always this thing about har cheez mein when you speak, my mom used to say, Allah na kare aisa ho, Allah na kare aisa ho. Allah is used very
हम लोग
commonly.
मेरे घर पे भी यूज कर
Yeah,
लेते हैं.
inshallah,
Inshallah,
mashallah,
mashallah.
Allah, everywhere.
No problem.
So, yeah. So I asked mom one day, I said, Mama, who is Allah? Right? On a dinner table, like randomly, I bring up these questions to my mother. And she was like, wow, here it comes, the big one. And I will always remember her answer to that. She looked at me in my eye and she said, Faraz, you know who Allah is? And I said, no, tell me, mom. I said, I know Allah is God, the one, the everything. But who is Allah? Man, woman, what is it like, Because everyone says Allah Mia. I said, is he a man with like a big beard and hair? Like, what is it? I want to see Allah. And she told me, she said, Allah Noor hai. Allah is
Roshni, light.
And
How incredible.
it still gives me chills, right? And she says, that's who Allah is. Allah is light for us. So every time you feel that you're in darkness, you need to remember Allah is the light. And I started seeing myself in that light. Formless.
In the fashion of love.
So formless. You don't need a gender to hold on to be who you want to be. Here is the creator who my family worships, who does not have a gender, who is formless.
Just light.
Just light. And I was like, that's who I am. I am light. I want to be light.
And how old were you when this happened?
4-5 years old, Suvir. So young. But
तब से आपको पता कि
I think I'm an old soul because I used to ask very difficult questions to my parents at a very early age.
No, even I did. I remember reading War and Peace when I was 8-9-year-old, and my mother saw me doing it. And she said, "Do you understand what it is?" And I was sitting with the dictionary.
Yeah.
So old soul to theek hai, but did you have nightmares about your identity? Did you ever question it? Were you ever afraid? Did you ever feel lonely? No.
Yes and no. I think, when you think you're the only queer person in the village, which I think we all go through.
So you've seen Little Britain?
I love that show.
If you haven't, the show is called Little Britain. Please watch it.
Please watch it.
We're the only gays of the village.
But I remember, Suvir, that initially when you think, you don't even know that this is something that the world will question. You just think this is how it is. So when I was very young, I remember I think I was in kindergarten or something, and I came back home very excited. My mother used to keep, reminding me of the story. And she said, you walked up to me and you said, there's this really cute boy in my class. And she was like, oh, nice. So are you friends? I said, I think I'm in love with this boy.
How amazing is that? So you had the ability to say it.
So she sat me down and was like, she said, love is a big word. That whole conversation happened. But I think for me, I didn't see anything wrong with.
And she didn't correct you कि तो लड़का है उससे
No,
प्यार
she did
करो.
not. I don't know. It's very interesting of her to have not, because there was no correction, I think, in her head. She was like,
Again, you've taught me something. There's no correction there.
there is no correction, right? What will you correct? There's nothing to be corrected. This is who I am. We think in our heads, in our minds, that ye sahi hai, ye galat
Mom
hai,
didn't care.
No, she was like, no, it's okay. Okay, as long as you're loving and not hating,
So that's what they taught you more than not.
That's what. They were like, it's good to love, beta. It's good to love. Hate, don't. Don't waste your time on hate. So when you're brought up like that with people who genuinely have seen, also what was very interesting about my parents, Suvir, they both ran away from home to get married to each other. Right?
And where were their homes?
Bombay only, but both had a lot of challenges within their families.
What kind of Muslim are you?
Muslim. Now I don't know what
नहीं
kind
but
of
they're
Muslim.
the Khoja and
ऐसा
the
कुछ नहीं है
Bora
हमारा.
and the...
नहीं, we're just like general
So
Muslim.
boring.
Yeah, there's no spice to it. But no, if it helps, my nani and my nana, they were from Lahore, and my dada and my dadi, they're from Lucknow. So I think the
Oh, they're
merger,
both where they're centers of
Yeah.
snoot, both of them.
Snoot, and I feel like so much of tehzeeb, no, in
Ah,
both
both,
places.
both,
So
both.
much culture. And so I grew up like listening to Punjabi songs at home because Dadi used to speak fluent
उसे पंजाबी बोल दे यार.
Fluent. I understand it.
मैंने भी बस समझ आता.
But I remember as a child, there was this one song she was obsessed with, that Sanu Nehar wale pul te bula ke, right? And I remember listening to it every weekend. That was blasted across the home, right? So now it's funny, now when I cook, it's the song I sing. that I
Say the
cook.
song again.
Sanu Nehar wale pul te bula ke.
Oh, the Nair wale pull, the stream wala
Yeah.
जो pull है.
कि
Bridge.
ये माही दिल ले गया.
Oh.
It's a lovely song. We'll play. We should listen to it.
And tell me, when you look at me, do you associate a gender?
That's what, I don't. I see you're so much more than a he or a him or a she and a her. You're so much more. And I feel that genders itself, they're very reductive.
So
They
who
put
comes
you
and
in a
turns it
box.
on and off?
You do it yourself.
We have to first love
खुद
ourselves,
से मोहब्बत करो.
respect ourselves, indulge ourselves,
The first
feed ourselves.
Yeah, I agree. I feel the first rule of love is to love yourself. It's the story of the rabbit and Alice, right? From Alice in Wonderland. When Alice turns to the rabbit and she asks him, "Do you love me?" And she said, and he tells her that I will not be able to love you until you love yourself,
Yeah.
little girl. And that is the truth of the matter. If you don't love yourself, how in the hell will you, like RuPaul says, how in the hell will you love anybody else? खुद से मोहब्बत करो
तो आप
पहले.
हिंदुस्तानी रूपॉल हैं?
नहीं, मैं हिंदुस्तानी फराज आरिफ अंसारी हूँ और मैं बहुत खुश हूँ अपने आप से.
कौन है फराज आरिफ अंसारी?
I don't know. I mean, I know, and I'm still discovering, I feel. I think it's a journey that will go on until the last day that I live, because it's so much of learning, unlearning, discovering realizations and meanderings and wanderings. Right now, I see myself as, like I told you, I just see myself with this giant beam of light,
And a
a big heart.
filmmaker, and a storyteller,
These are words, na,
raconteur.
Suvir? These are all words. Like
तो उनके पीछे कौन हो आप?
उनके पीछे मैं एक छोटा सी बच्चा हूँ जो अपने माँ बाप से बहुत मोहब्बत करता हूँ.
अब वो तो चले गए. अब
But
किससे मोहब्बत करते
they
हो?
live through. I have 6 cats.
6 million? Who
It's
feeds them when you're traveling?
We have house helps who take care of them, and they're wonderful. I think my senior most house staff has been with us before I was born. So it's their family.
आप
They're
तो बस
almost family.
15-20 साल के हैं तो.
नहीं, Suvir, 12, 12.
Teenager भी नहीं
How
बने.
cruel.
So you created this movie and Sheer Kurma. When I think of Eid, when I think of Anjum Auntie, Hassan Uncle, my father's close friends, I can't think of a table without Sheer Kurma. And क्या मजेदार चीज़ है. मतलब it's like चावल की खीर. Those two are the holy puddings for me.
Yeah.
चावल की खीर and Sheer Kurma.
Yeah.
What does Sheer Kurma the movie and Sheer Kurma the story and the dish mean to you?
Sheer Korma is so much more than just Sheer Korma, right? It's my mother used to call it Mohabbat. It was never called Sheer Korma at home. It was it was always on Eid when we used to come back after offering namaz. She was like, "Mohabbat kisko chahiye?" Which was sheer korma,
कि
right?
इबादत से बनती है, प्यार से बनती है.
हाँ तो आप इबादत करके आओ, then you come home, फिर आपको मोहब्बत मिलेगी. That's how it was, right? So I think that legacy sort of I wanted to carry forward when I made Sheer Korma, because eventually what is Sheer Korma about? It's a film about love, unconditional love that parents do with their children. And that sort of love transcends space and time and hate and prejudices. It breaks through all of that.
And what a story it was, short. We won't tell you the ending of this movie, but if you give yourself an hour, what you'll get is a lifetime of love. You're right, mohabbat ki kahani hai.
And that is Sheer Korma to me. Even what was served at home and what I got inspired to make eventually for the celluloid, it's really love in
And
that.
these actresses you had were each one better than the other. Give our names to them, give their names to
So of course it has the legendary Shabana Azmi
us.
ji.
Institution unto herself.
I don't think I am in a space to even talk of her. She's just, I love her
I
very
agree.
much and respect her tremendously. Of course, then it has Divya Datta, someone I started my career with, and it has Swara Bhaskar. And
Again, two incredible young
absolutely incredible
talent.
and also people who are so aligned to all the things that very courageous women in their own rights. And I feel that I want to work with people who inspire others, not just in the cinematic space but outside of it. So I feel like Shabana ji, Divya, Swara, they all inspire me in many ways. And when I decided to make Sheer Korma, I wanted those energies to come in play with my energies.
You knew them already, these three people?
No, I only knew Divya. So I was to be honest, I was very hesitant to even reach out to Shabana ji. I was like, why will she do my
She's a
film?
legend for all of
Oh
us.
my God. So I remember I was in Divya Datta's living room. We were sitting together and I said, I'm not going to text her. You text her from my phone. And she's like, just send her a text. I said, I'm too scared.
You had her number.
She gave it to me. Divya gave it to me because Divya was Divya is very close with Shabana ji, their family, friends, and all of that. And she said she loved this film, Farah. She loved you. Why are you so hesitant? I said, no, because Shabana asked me. And then I sent her the text, and she replied. She was in London at that point, and she replied back to me at 3:30 in the morning, India time. And she said, send me the script. If I like it, I'll get back to you. And then I woke up from my bed and I sent her the email, and then I could not go back to sleep because I was like, she must be reading it now. And then there must be Javed Akhtar Saab next to her will also be reading my film. I was like, oh my God, please, I hope there are no spelling errors, nothing. I hope it's a good film. Self-doubting, all of that. And then at 5:30 in the morning,
2 hours.
2 hours, she sent me a text, beautiful film, period. My manager will call you tomorrow, period. Let's do it, period.
But that is Shabana ji. I can imagine her being that direct.
That's it. And I was like, it was 5:30 in the morning. I could not wake up anyone. I wanted to scream. I wanted to dance like Shabana.
And mum was there, your parents.
Mum was there, but everyone was asleep. It's 5:30. So I decided to stay up. And the minute my mom walked out of her bedroom, I said, guess what? Guess who's doing my film? And she was like, calm down. I said, Shabana. She's like, no! And then she could not calm down. We're all big Shabana Azmi fans in my family.
Who won't be?
Yeah. So, and of course, it's so interesting that we shot the climax of this film in this hotel.
At the
Lalit, right there in the presidential suite.
Oh, I remember that scene so well.
Yeah, it was right here. So it was funny today to come back. Like all the memories came rushing back. We were shooting in the lobby and the elevator with Shabana ji. And
it's a breath of fresh air in the annals of cinema. You must watch Sheer Korma by Farah Saraf Ansari. Go rush and get it. तो आपका एक कहानी का चैप्टर, अपनी जिंदगी का चैप्टर न्यू जर्सी में भी बिता है.
न्यूयॉर्क,
पेंसिल्वेनिया, न्यूयॉर्क, न्यू जर्सी.
जी.
एंड बहुत दिलचस्प चैप्टर है ये आपकी जिंदगी का. उसके बारे में बताएं हमें.
I decided to, I think I was
देखिए मैं इनसे हिंदी उर्दू में बात करो, अंग्रेजी में जवाब देते हैं. He's a true Bombay boy.
I will come to it. But no, when I think I was 14 when I decided that मुझे हिंदुस्तान में पढ़ाई नहीं करनी, मुझे बाहर जाके पढ़ाई करनी है, because I want to learn cinema. I don't want to go to I don't want to be taught cinema. I want to be on a film set. I want to work.
Because you were cinematic on your own
I
right.
was like, so much, it's already there. It's pouring. It's like overflowing. I said, someone needs to like keep pouring more so that I keep overflowing, right? So I discussed it with my parents. Of course, they were mad at the fact that I wanted to be a filmmaker. They're like, दिमाग खराब हो गया है तुम्हारा जाओ जाके MBA करो or do some whatever everyone else is doing. And I remember my dad turning to my mother and saying, what is everyone doing these days? That's what Faraz should do. But of course, they were very hesitant because, it's not an easy career. We don't come from a film family, so I don't have a
With
godfather.
anyone.
Yeah, nobody. दूर दूर तक रिश्ता नाता नहीं है फिल्मों से. I don't have a godfather sitting there saying, "Come, I'll make your film."
Karan Johar, not your godfather?
No, I don't have any godfathers in this industry. I am my own godfather. I just knew that there's nothing else that I could do but make films, tell stories. More importantly, because I was raised by three wonderful women, Suvir.
Who was the third?
My mother, my mother's elder sister, who's baby, and the eldest sister, who was my Khalajan. So my Khalajan, my baby, and my mother were the three women who I grew up with, and everything that I know today, everything that I understand today, the languages that I speak, the way I spray my perfume, the way I drape my dupatta, the way everything about it's them. So I wanted to go out and I wanted to study films. I wanted to also have grown up like in the 90s or early 2000s. I'm a full millennial. I remember watching High School Musical, right, on TV, and I was like, that's the kind of life I want. I want to run through the corridors and look at cute boys and all of that. So that's why I wanted to go to America actually. But obviously I could not say that to my parents.
But there is a cute boy also over there.
There were many cute boys over there. And then of course they were hesitant. They were like, "Tum kya karoge wahan pe?" No, but just be here, study. I secretly applied for a scholarship by the State Department of United States, and out of 30,000 something children across South Asia, they picked 15. I was one of the 15.
Wow.
And I went on a fully funded scholarship to the US. So my dad didn't have to pay a dime, which he was like,
ये
but
कैसे हुआ?
am I not supposed to pay something? Kuch paise? I was like, no, I'm good. Thank
And how
you.
old were you at this time?
I went to the US when I was 15. I just
How
passed out
incredible
of
is
school.
that?
I passed out of school. So when I was, in fact, I remember there were three cars, three big giant. Back in the day, it was a Toyota Qualis, those big cars. And my family had three of them. All three of them were packed to the brim. They all came to drop me to the airport because at 15, I was going there. I was going to the US to, do my education, do my high school and do my graduation. So, they just let me go and live my dreams, Suvir, and I did it. I did it on my own, and of course, their support was there through and through. But it was wonderful, and I think America changed me so much.
How?
It gave me freedom. It
But your
gave me a voice.
parents were so
But the kind of freedom that the US gives you as an individual. Here you're still protected and loved and all of that, and that kind of freedom, that kind of exposure that happens to you there is phenomenal.
What did it
right?
teach you?
It taught me how to be independent, how to love fearlessly, how to live fearlessly, and how to follow my dreams no matter what it takes.
And did you love somebody fearlessly?
Yeah, I did. I fell in love head over heels with my senior in the first 6 months of me moving there. And it was magical, he was magical and he was wonderful. And so much of the way I love today in my romantic relationships is a lot of him, which still surfaces.
Do you tell him that now, all these years
We
later?
dated for 6 years, and then eventually I moved back to India because I wanted to make films here. I had opportunities to work there, and I did work there, but I was like, after all the hard work that I've done, I wanted to make films back home, films that really will make a difference in my motherland. So I chose to came back, and I came back to India in July. In October, I lost him in an accident, Suvir.
I remember this.
Yeah. So it was, I think, it was my first, my first, how do I say, my first rendezvous with grief. I was 20, and the love of my life was gone from the face of the planet. And I did not know what to do with myself or with anyone around me, because I was just I was like a headless chicken running around, trying to find my head back, to put it back and be like, let me just figure what to do now.
Did mom and dad know you are a lover while you were there?
I think I mentioned to them about my relationship with him after he passed away. Because until then, I was like, we'll talk about it. You want to delay it. You want to wait for it, the right moment. I wanted him to come back to India. I wanted him to meet my parents. None of that ever happened. So I think that remained. That will remain, and I think that's one of the things that I think that regret, of not being able to do it when the time was there. So now when I have a thought in mind, I just do it. I've become impulsive now. I'm like, don't wait for the right time. What is this whole thing about sahi waqt par karenge? Who decides? What is this right time? Right time is when you feel it in your heart, in your soul. That's when you are supposed to do it, I feel. One should not wait because life goes by otherwise.
How old are you today?
I'm 36 now.
So 16 साल आपने उनके बिना काटे हैं, and you've been going from strength to strength. Is it difficult? Is it something that keeps flashing back? Do you get strength from those 6 years together?
A lot of it, yes. There's a lot of strength. Of course, there's grief attached to it, Suvir. I feel that, especially now after mom and dad, I think love, I have started understanding love in a different light. I feel like if this is love, the spectrum of it is also grief.
It's the other side of the
मोहब्बत
coin.
के साथ आपको grief मुफ्त में मिलती है. And you need to be wise enough to understand that the minute you start loving someone is the moment you will also start grieving for them. And that clarity I have got now. Right? And hence वो दिल को आप अपने, you want to hold your heart very dearly. Like if I want to love someone, I want to be sure that
So you
I'll be
have a
able
lover
to.
now.
Yes, I do, but it's that thing that I don't know if I'll ever be at a point to love the way I used to love when I was 16. When I realized that it's not external, it's internal, that light, that love, I think that's when I started loving differently. That nobody can complete you. So many people say, oh, this person will complete me. That's bullshit. I'm sorry. You
That-
complete yourself. तुम खुद से अपने आप को मुकम्मल करते हो.
तेरा आशिक तो है शम्मा परवाना है, तेरे शोरों से खेलेगा मर जाएगा, जान छोटी सही तेरे परवाने की, वो बड़े से बड़ा काम कर जाएगा.
क्या बात है.
तो आपने क्या बड़े काम करे? Look at you, your life has been all of this. अब आप एक टिक्की है उसके साथ कुछ बन कर रहे हैं क्या? बन टिक्की क्या बना रहे हो? मेकिंग बन ऑमलेट क्या कर रहे हो आजकल? There's something happening with a bun and a tikki in your life. Tell us.
I just finished my first feature film,
which Manish Malhotra is bringing into
and Geo Studios. And it's funny because it got greenlit. Mama passed on in August 2022, and Bun Tikki got greenlit in January 23. And I remember it was Friday the 13th when I had my meeting with
right
Manish.
Before people in cinema. Yeah.
Can you imagine? And I was very apprehensive to take that meeting with Manish because I am superstitious. I don't want to be sitting here saying like, yeah, whatever. I believe in everything. I believe in everyone. मुझे जहाँ पे मंदिर, मस्जिद, church, अग्यारी, गुरुद्वारा जहाँ मिलते हैं, मैं सब जगह माथा टेकता हूँ. That's the person I am. I'm Indian. So I'm also very superstitious. So I was like, Friday the 13th is not the day I should go to. But I did it and my film got greenlit that day. And of course, it's my mother's.
Lucky for some, number 30.
And it's interesting because Bun Tikki it's really my love letter to every child and every parent in this world. It's to remind them about the powers that love has. So the film has Abhay Deol, and of course it has Shabana Azmi ji,
and Zeenat Aman.
Yeah, so this is actually Zeenat Aman ji's comeback film.
What a chic woman. She was every gay boy's dream come true.
Yeah, and she's coming back to films, Suvir, after 41 years. It's, I feel what a blessing.
Did she enjoy the role and everything?
Oh my God. Because Zeenat Aman was one of my mother's favorite.
Everybody. She's so chic. Oof.
And my mother, I remember, she had a mixtape in the 90s, वो
cassettes
आती थी. So she had a cassette which said, Zeenat, heart, 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 love.
Oh.
And she always, so whenever whatever was happening in the house, my mother and I had this thing, we used to dance. Every weekend was us dancing and all Zeenat Aman songs. So she used to put the cassette and play, and
आप
we used to
जैसा
just
कोई ऐसे
all of it, right? And my mother had told me once, I remember this, she had said, whatever happens, if you ever become a filmmaker, no, please make a film with Zeenat Aman.
wow,
And
wow.
from her lips to God's
God's
ears, my
ears.
first film, my first feature happened to be with
Zeenat
Zeenat ji. And I remember when I met her, after she said yes to the role, I met her at JW, and I love to prepare. I'm a visual person. So I went with a mood board and this and that. And I was like, the only thing that Zeenat ji asked me when I sat down with her, she said, why do you want me to do this film? Right? And I remember looking at her, and I said to her that, why not you? And that was it. She said, I'm doing the film. I said, no. I said, please listen to the story. Look at the mood board. I've worked very hard. She was like, I love you. I love your energy. I'm doing this film.
How
And that
incredible.
was it. And that was it. Zeenat Aman, the legend, said yes to my film so easily.
And Shabana ji, the other
Shabana
legend.
ji to matlab,
Oh, but how lucky are you?
it's my mother's blessings. It is all my mother's
So when is
blessings.
Bantiki coming out?
Hopefully sometime this year.
But you've already been to the film festivals and
We
gotten
had- yes.
accolades. And,
Yes, we had a world premiere at Palm Springs International Film
and I saw
Festival.
Manish and you posing. And,
Yes, it was lovely.
and Mr. Deol.
Yes, Abhay was there with us for the thing. The film also has a wonderful child. His name is Rohan Singh, and he's from Delhi. And he's the discovery. He's a real discovery of the film, because he's like, when we were filming, he was about 7 years old. A 7-year-old child is the real hero of Bantiki.
I can't wait to see it. You dress up iconically. You dress up almost to embarrass all of us to do something better. You dress up to shame us into thinking, कुछ तो करो. तो आज देखिए मैंने हर उंगली में एक अंगूठी पहनी. ये जो हस्ती आ रही है, तितली, मधुमक्खी, क्या है. तो you also have a label. You
Yes.
have a fashion label.
Yes.
And you do upcycling with that label.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
So it's called Funkar by Faraz. Funkar really started during the pandemic, Suvir, because I love making my own outfits through artisans across India. And during the pandemic, they were all reaching out to me saying that they didn't have work. They were all out of work. And they said, आप कुछ देखिए ना, अगर कुछ हो सकता है, आप कुछ, if you can do something, if you can help us in any way. And I think that was the birth of Funkar, because Funkar means
And I
an
love
artist.
the name, Funkar
Yeah.
artist.
So,
और आप है fun Funkar.
but ये actually artist जो है, ये वो है, ये I'm
Their
the
story.
It's their story, it's their work that I want to.
No, but you wear it and you look
Yes,
classy
yeah,
and
and I love
fussy
wearing
and-
it, and I model for it also, because
Yeah.
it's a homegrown brand.
Funkar, आप मेरे size में तो कुछ बनाने नहीं वाले.
We'll make
But how are you
it.
going to revive it?
I saw this beautiful Fulkari dupatta. I think it was from 1953 or something, right? Stunning. And I was like, I want to take that and I want to make it into this beautiful trench coat. So that's how the brand functions. It's not a brand that does, a small, medium, large, XL, double XL. No, it's the kind of fabric or the kind of something that I'll
It talks
find.
to you.
If that talks to me, I'll take it and I'll create something out of it. It's a brand that finds itself.
So you are very choosy about what you wear. पर आप
Selective.
Selective. हीना के साथ तो आप चिपक गए हैं.
Hina I love, because Hina did a lot of outfits for Sheer Korma also. And that's how I met Hina. And I feel like Hina's aesthetics, there's a mohabbat in her outfits.
है.
I keep telling her.
और उर्दू तो बहुत है उनके तो.
उर्दू तो हाँ,
मतलब
मतलब
अल्फाज
हाँ.
जो वो यूज करती हैं
बिल्कुल,
अपने
बिल्कुल.
for her lines. Oh my God.
There was once, I think about, I think 2 years back, she had promised me, she had made this anarkali for men.
We both wore it. I think
Yes,
both of us have
and
worn
I
it.
wore it for Swara's wedding, the yellow one. And she said, this has only been inspired by you. Because she's like,
पर वो मुझे भी यही बोला.
well, but I remember.
I was channeling you though.
But I when I wore it, I felt free. I felt
Well, I
like.
remember wearing the anarkali at a wedding in at the Taj in Goa.
Yeah.
And I came out, I thought even the bride
Yeah.
doesn't have that energy. And I
Yeah,
almost
my
felt
God.
embarrassed.
Yeah.
I said, Kya? I felt like I was something.
Yeah, it's interesting because my best friend just got married last year in November, and wedding was at Samod Palace, and I had my outfits from all these wonderful designers, and there was this one Hina Kochar outfit that it was a Torani outfit, Karan Torani. I love Karan,
Khan
and
Market.
I love, and I've known the Karan like before he launched his brand. So Karan sent me this Angarkha, which is like all the way down, and it has about 200 plus kalis in it. And when I
But for you, that's nothing. आपको 600-700
it was very heavy. It was really very heavy. And I remember the minute I put it on, I was like, oh, right? I was like, but then to be able to wear it and then to be able to stand through it and then walk through it and swirl through it, uska maza kuch aur hai. And I wore it in the freezing cold.
और आप नाचे थे उस दिन?
Bilkul. And there's a video that I made with it because, there are these, in Punjabi weddings, what is this thing called where a lot of, I think the cross-dressers who come and they sing and they dance.
वो गिद्दा विद्दा कराते हैं.
So when they do the gidda, so they had
बगड़ा
called...
था सजदा जे नचे मुझे धीमा.
Correct, right. So this gidda was going on, and they had called a lot of, I think they were the cross-dressers, or some of them identified as transgender, some of them cross-dressers, and they all were there and they were performing, and I started dancing with them, and they were whirling and I was whirling, and there's a video that I made.
And your fez, was that
with
whirling?
my fez, with this fez, and that video is so iconic. I posted it on Instagram very hesitantly because it was a moment which was very precious and very personal for me, but I showed it, people like, just put it out, why are you thinking so much? And I put it out, and the amount of love that Torani outfit and that energy has got is phenomenal.
So tell me, this is perfect segue. मैं आज हूर की परी, बनी ठनी राधा, जो भी आप मुझे कहे, बन के आया हूँ for you.
Poo Bani Parvati.
So, does fashion, does jewelry, does how we dress ourselves have religion, gender, or rules to it?
No, there are no rules for anything in life. The only rule is to follow your heart. And if you follow your heart, then you're sorted.
Are you excited that you came back?
Oh, 100%. 100%, right? Because the kind of stories that I dream of, the kind of stories that I write, the kind of stories that I make in India would have never happened if I was not in this country. In this country that is home for me.
तो अब अगली क्या चीज आप लिख रहे हैं? जितने व्यस्त है कि मेरी कहानी तो लिख नहीं रहे. What is keeping you so busy?
God.
बन टिक्की तो हो गई, अब वो टिक्की पक गई, अब क्या हो रहा है?
Oh God, I don't know. So I keep saying I don't know, and I'm trying to unlearn this I don't know. I'm like, I want to like throw it out of my life. I know everything as much as I should know. There is so much that is drawing me, very different inspirations. I think there's a lot of growth that has happened by making Bun Tikki, through the process of Bun Tikki. There are many stories that I want to tell now, and each of them are very unique and very different than the other, and nothing like Bun Tikki. I think I'm growing. I'm coming of age, and I think I will keep coming of age after I finish every film. And I don't know what happens after that, but I keep coming of age after every film. What next? I feel there are 3-4 directions that are sort of, pulling me. They're in motion, and I've left it to the universe and my mother and my father saying, ये 4 चीजें हैं मुझे करनी है, आप देख लीजिए जो बेहतर है वो हो जाए. Let's see what aligns next. I'm actually very excited to see, but it's definitely going to be something that is who I am, an extension of myself, and something that heals the world. I believe in healing, Suvir. I believe in loving, and I believe in reminding people of the power that love has.
How incredible.
And to remind them through that how futile hate is. नफरत से कुछ नहीं होने वाला है. ना आपका अच्छा होगा, ना मेरा अच्छा होगा, ना इस देश का अच्छा होगा, ना इस दुनिया का अच्छा होगा.
तो गरीब नवाज अजमेर शरीफ
जी
हमेशा कहते थे, नफरतें किसी से नहीं, मोहब्बतें सबसे.
क्या बात है.
So I think those words are so true.
Yeah,
Love everyone, hate nobody.
Yeah, I have a very strong connection with Ajmer Sharif also. When I remember this time when I went to Ajmer Sharif last year, I was going there to, thank the forces and I was on my way to Ajmer Sharif. My flight has just landed in Jaipur. I'm on my way, and I get a phone call. This was October when I got to know that Bunting is going to Palm Springs. I've just landed.
Look at
मैं
that.
जा रहा हूँ वहां पर हाथ जोड़कर बैठने उनके courtyard में, saying that I hope all good things happen to this
वो हो
child of
गया।
mine. पहुंचने
नहीं
के
हो गया।
पहले दे दिया. You come with gratitude. I feel like so much of, and I practice gratitude like tremendously these days. So with that, I'm always grateful. I'm always, even if I forget on days, I remind myself saying, be grateful. You have so much to be grateful for. Be grateful.
So all of you should understand I'm most grateful that Faraz Araf Ansari joined us today. And I thank you for watching us, the Suvir Saran Show, where conversations never fade. Share this with your loved ones. Join us again. And Faraz, thank you for
Thank
being
you for
here.
having me. It's been so wonderful. And thank you for doing the light that you put out in the world that sort of amplifies my light.
We can't let you go without some Coke, love. I
Huh?
see that you drink Coke with a lot of lemon. So here, more Coke for you.
Thank you. How
And
sweet.
enjoy it.
Thank you so much.
Be naughty with it. Drink it when you need inspiration. And keep coming back.
Thank you. Such a pleasure.